Greetings YouTube, my name is KarQ. I'm back from the Overwatch Spotlight where I got a chance to play all those new heroes, Jetpack Cat, all that fun stuff. If you missed any of the things I covered during my trip there, it's all on this channel. There's like 30 videos we uploaded, shorts and long form included. Have a browse, but for now, I missed a couple of articles while I was gone. One was written by Aaron Keller where he talks about why they removed the 2 onto Overwatch and now we're no longer Overwatch 2 and just Overwatch. The second is an overview of all the changes for those who haven't played the game, maybe heard through the grapevine that Overwatch has a cat hero now and all that fun stuff. So a little bit of both. We're going to just read this to you. This is obviously a little more of a podcasty style where you just close your eyes and let my voice take you away. But if you want to like visually see the cat gameplay and all that kind of fun stuff, browse this channel, my second channel, KarQ Archives. But let's begin with this one first, which is called Sunrise in Gibraltar, written on February 6, 2026. So that should be yesterday or 2 days ago. Hey everyone, how are you all holding up after that explosive spotlight presentation? Hopefully you're doing better than Winston's base of operations or Doomfist. Haha, if you saw the cinematic that they released during it, you'll know what he's talking about. Many of last year's director's takes ended with a wink and nod about a bigger, bolder era of Overwatch that we couldn't wait to tell you about. And it's finally here. I can't say enough how excited Team 4 is to finally let the Jetpack Cat out of the bag and show you much of what we've been working on. Let's talk about what all of this means for you, our story, and Overwatch as a whole. Next subheading is called A New Era. So if you missed the spotlight, be sure to check out the VOD here or our recap blog, which I will cover after it's this, to get caught up on everything coming to Season 1 next week on February 10th, 2026. Formerly known as Season 21. This is the most expansive season in Overwatch history, built upon a foundation that's close to our hearts, a dedicated emphasis on story and lore, complete with 5 new heroes that will tip the scales on both sides of the ongoing conflict between Talon and Overwatch. There are new hero sub-roles, which I personally covered on the channel, a massive UI UX refresh. I saw the main menu, guys. It looks very mobile-esque, but maybe we'll give it a fair shot. Maybe it is easier to navigate, but it does look very mobile-esque. So my first impression is I didn't like it, but we'll give it a fair shot. Competitive updates, stadium updates, exciting collabs. We saw the Kuromi and the Hello Kitty stuff, and tons of other additions to get excited about. The party won't stop in Season 1 either. We've committed to releasing 10 heroes in 2026 to celebrate Overwatch's 10th anniversary, and you can expect more maps, more systems, more features as the year goes on. Last year, many of you said that Overwatch seemed to be in its most competitive state. We agree, but we noticed as both creators and fans ourselves that we missed the connection to the world and our heroes. If you've been with us over the past decade, we hope this new story arc will thrill you. If this is your valiant return to the world of Overwatch or your first time hearing Winston's call, welcome in and enjoy the ride. Next section, right time, right place. A very valid question might be running through your mind hearing all of this news. Why now? If we had this idea for a massive season full of lore and new features, why didn't we decide to pull the ripcord earlier? The obvious answer is that this year marks Overwatch's 10th anniversary, and it's hard to beat that opportunity to go bigger than ever before, but the real answer is actually a little bit more nuanced. After we pivoted away from the PvE content, it took some time for us to find our footing and refocus on what we truly wanted Overwatch to be, a compelling, engaging FPS title all about core competitive PvP experiences. Perks, added last year, added a new layer of strategy to our core gameplay. Stadium offered a fresh PvP experience and little quality of life changes like a new progression system, and regular patches helped us create a solid foundation to build on for the future. To be honest, we couldn't have done this a year ago. Throwing 10 heroes into the mix would have complicated our mission of establishing Overwatch as an FPS title ready to last another decade. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't buy 100 paintings before the walls were painted, would you? I mean, I might. Don't tell me what to do, Aaron. We're pleased with the current state of Overwatch and think this is the next logical step for our team, our game, and our story to take. Now that we have a stable foundation, we can focus on elevating and evolving Overwatch to its peak potential. Next section says, our best is now. Something was intentionally missing in our Spotlight program and all the trailers and blogs and story elements we've shown this week. A complete and total surprise that totally no one was able to decipher. We've dropped the 2 from Overwatch's title. And the reason ties deeply into our philosophy about the universe and the game going forward. So from Aaron's and the team's perspective, they think this, guys. When folks think of Overwatch 2, they may have a different game in mind than the one we have in front of us right now. That's fair. Lots of things have changed since we originally announced a sequel. Can you believe they announced that in 2019 BlizzCon? It's been 7 years. With the presence of that number, Overwatch 2 led to expectations and community discussion, whether serious or not, that Overwatch 3 must be coming. It created a mental framework which locked people into the idea that dropping a big sequel, like another sequel, was the only way to truly elevate our game. This rebrand, quote unquote, soft rebrand, is more of a refocus both for our team and our community. The title that you are playing right now is what Team 4 is fully committed to. We're putting our time and energy into an evolving, always on live service game, not a potential sequel with a release date years down the line. Our goal is to make Overwatch into the best possible version of itself with every update, and we're thrilled to have you along for that journey. Thank you for reading, and as always, let's make a great game. Well, that's Aaron's perspective. As a consumer of the game, them dropping the 2, because I'm an active player, didn't surprise me, number 1, and number 2, it really doesn't change anything for me and anybody who's been playing and riding through the game through its ups and downs. I think the current active player base has obviously accepted a long time ago that we're not getting PvE, and that's okay. Just keep making this game as best as it can. I think Stadium's kind of taught me in the last year that talent trees and stuff are a little bit difficult to be fun long term. I'm sure it may have changed a little bit with the story mode and stuff like that, but replayability and stuff just and the talent tree and building a hero like that sounds really good on paper, but maybe Stadium has showed me that in practicality, the replayability isn't so good in this kind of format. Maybe if they iterated it a bit more, it could have been something great, but I'm really glad that they're refocusing and reshifting everything and putting all their eggs in one basket. This is our PvP competitive game, hero shooter. We've seen a gazillion hero shooters come and go over the past couple of years trying to mimic what Overwatch has done, and none of them have come close except for Marvel Rivals, which honestly was the best thing that happened to them, really kicked them into gear this past year. Everything they worked on after seeing Marvel's success last year was a culmination of all that, and then boom, next year, everything we worked on while Marvel was popping off, now this is our year, so I'm really happy for the team. Another thing I want to say, I think this whole soft rebrand is more so like, it doesn't change for active player base, like I said, but it mostly makes some noise for the ones who already left the game and maybe didn't plan on returning, or they hear news around the grapevine. You're gonna get those people and be like, oh, now they finally admitted failure, that, you know, it wasn't a thing. I mean, they kind of did the whole time, but people who haven't even given the game a fair shot in the past couple of years really have no idea what they're talking about what the game has done and what the new team has focused on. Want to go on a limb and say that, like, I have met a lot of the devs, and quite literally there's, I don't know the exact number, but the amount of people that were here since the beginning, like 2016, 2015, 2014 Overwatch on Team 4 is like very small, like less than 10. And they've got like a couple hundred people on the team right now. All of these couple hundred people, a lot of them that I talked to over the past Spotlight were here in the last like 2 or 3 years. 4 years maybe at most, right when Overwatch 2 launched. This is a new team that's like picking up the pieces from what Jeff and the team back then announced and what they wanted for PvE and MMO Jeff and blah, 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 blah. It's a different vision now, and I'm glad the new team has a new focus, and they picked up the pieces, and I think finally putting the 2 away and really being like, all right, this is our game now moving forward. Like, this is what we're going to work with. I think this is the right call, and I continue to hope that like this year's update keeps on hitting. The first 5 are great. I hope the next 5 are great. So with that being said, let's move on to the next article, which was actually a day before, 2 days before, February 4th. This is kind of basically the big overview of what's coming to the game. If you're just clicking this video for the first time, again, there's tons of videos where we covered these heroes that they're showing here, but I'm going to speed through the article really quickly now. Okay, Overwatch Spotlight, the Reign of Talon begins. For the first time in Overwatch history, we are telling a multifaceted, fully connected story across the entire year. You'll experience a narrative arc with a set beginning, middle, and end, beginning with an all-new Season 1 through 6 before a new Season 1 launches in 2027. Okay, so I didn't realize they're done doing incremental seasons, and they're just going to restart every year as a 1 to 6 with like a whole chapter stuff. That's actually kind of good. I like that, because it gets to a point once you get like really high in the numbers, like what does Season 31 mean? What does Season 28 mean? Back in Overwatch 1? I can't recall, but like every year being a 1 to 6 with a distinct arc kind of like makes it a bit easier to remember and recall. The team that got rehired, the new team that they got in Overwatch 2 specifically, not from the old OG team, I'm glad they're finally picking up the story, because there's probably like a dead period with so much employee turnover, and then like with the controversy of Blizzard and all that kind of bad stuff that happened right after COVID. I'm sure a lot of the story and the vision was lost for a little bit, but now they've really sat down and like really honed in on what they want to do here. To tell the story, we have 10 heroes. That's what we said. First 5 launching next week on February 10th as Season 1. Each hero will tie directly into the story. So Overwatch's fight against Talon will evolve in real time as players watch the world shift around them through updated maps, new art, and more. This arc starts with a new cinematic, which we saw with Vendetta and Doomfist, and unfolds through motion comics. Ooh, they're gonna do comics. In-game events, that's right. New voice lines, so I'm sure like the heroes interact voice lines wise between the people, animated hero trailers, and short stories. And when they said the world shift around them, did you guys see the new Gibraltar? Some players played it during the spotlight. Gibraltar was very burnt down and it looks very different right now. This reminds me back of like 2016 when Nambani changed as well as part of the story. So I'm glad they're revisiting that. Very cool. Whether you're a long-term Overwatch competitor or a first-timer in this fight for a better future or returning after a break, here's everything you need to know about the Reign of Talon. So, returning player catch-up. Before you jump into Season 1 next week, here's a quick mission debrief to get you up to speed if that vacation from Overwatch ended up lasting longer than Ana's retirement in Fiji. So, new heroes. So Season 1 includes the 5 new heroes to get acquainted with, but it's important to meet the other heroes who joined the Overwatch roster over the past few years. Here are a few introductions. Check out the full hero list to read up on any unfamiliar faces. So these are all the heroes added into Overwatch 2 beyond the Junker Queen and the Sojourn, I believe, which were like the first, and Kiriko, which were the first 3 that got brought into the game, but like over the past 3.5, 4 years-ish, this is what we have. Ilari, the lone survivor of the Inti Warriors, who knows the weight her solar powers hold, the potential to heal as much as they destroy. She is a support hero. Mauga, an impulsive, fearless Talon agent that uses his bulky build and incendiary chain guns to shield teammates and decimate enemies. Okay, first of all, he does not shield teammates. Wrong. Number 2, he is a tank. Venture, a jovial archaeologist bravely chasing adventure and ancient secrets. Their sneaky moves and powerful drill weapon offer devastating damage. Very powerful, brawlier damage hero. Not very much hit scan, very much in and out kind of hero. Juno, a support, airborne hero from Mars seeking a lifeline for her family and a home planet, always ready to help her Spage Age tech grants healing and speed to allies. Hazard, a tank, member of the Underground Freaks gang, emboldened to fight justice with stolen Oasis tech. The only thing wilder than his tanky mobile kit is his personality. Freya, a DPS hero, a former Overwatch agent turned into a bounty hunter who knows better than to ask too many questions. High skill crossbow shots and aerial movements make her a true threat on the battlefield. Wu Yang, a support hero, a water college student trying to find his place in a changing world. His torrential abilities lend himself to fluid movement, intense healing, and powerful damage. And then we have Vendetta, champion of the Colosseo, DPS damage melee hero, determined to take back Talon's seat of power, a position she believes is her birthright. Watch out for her high mobility, high damage sword attacks, and her thirst for vengeance. Perks. So this was added last year, 2025. It's still in the game now, and it will be for the rest of the year. Shift the tides of the battle in your favor by equipping perks during a match. These hero-specific boons offer a way to upgrade your kit according to your playstyle and demands of the current battle. You'll first select between 2 minor perks, which subtly shift your hero's kits in a different direction. Later on, you'll select one of the 2 major perks. These bolder upgrades can add game-changing abilities or buffs that counter the enemies in front of you. Stadium. So this is a new mode added last year as well. Looking to supercharge your hero? Try Stadium. Upgrade your hero using game-changing powers and add buffs with items, all purchased with Stadium Cash, which you earn by making a difference for your team. Customize your game plan, cater to your skills, or expertly counter your enemies by crafting the perfect build. Stadium includes a new map mode called Payload Race and several other maps not available anywhere else in Overwatch like Wusing University and Powder Keg Mine. More heroes are added to Stadium every season. So this is the mode where you buy stuff with cash and play Overwatch on a round-by-round basis, and you do really funky, crazy stuff. Okay, and then we have the 5 heroes launching in Season 1. We have Domina, the tank. Very pokey. I'm going to quickly skip through. These are her abilities. Please watch my video on the channel, which breaks down her entire kit. We have Emre, a Halo-style character, if you will. 3-round burst gun, throws a grenade, can jump pretty high. We have Mizuki, a support hero, who is a member of the Hashimoto clan. Honestly, his comparison, he doesn't really have a cool comparison. He's got really unique abilities. He heals like Brig, where he throws his hat and it bounces between teammates. He has a hinder root, a chain that can keep people together, and he can kind of teleport back to like a doll where he can leave on the ground, kind of like old Samba Translocator. We have Anran, a damage hero, which is Wu Yang's sister. She is a fire-based assassin, and yes, it complements other fire-based heroes. For example, if Ash's dynamite or Mauga's chain guns light people on fire, she can keep them burning and have her deal bonus damage. She honestly plays a lot like Genji. If you play her really slow and pokey, you're not going to be very successful. If you use her dashes like aggressively, like Genji, like opportunistically going in and bursting people down. I think that's how you're supposed to play her. Jetpack Cat, this hero is real. If you're an Overwatch 1 fan from 2016, you thought this was a meme, but this is real. I think Jetpack Cat was first teased as like a concept because like Overwatch would release like teasers and old concept art for like Mama Hong and Jetpack Cat and just wacky heroes. But they actually put Jetpack Cat in the game finally, which means, is Mama Hong coming? I wouldn't write it off is what I would say. This hero is insane, by the way. I think this is a hero that like can be, it's gonna have the win rate pulled down really poorly by people who are just trolling because you can pick up a teammate and troll and throw them off the map and stuff. But I think at the super high level, this hero is insane with the playmaking potential because the cat moves really fast and has really strong 1v1 potential. All right, the next big thing in the game is sub roles and passives. I also have a separate video breaking it down a little bit more. But in short, tanks, damage, and supports are now divided into sub roles. I don't think they wrote it here, but they changed the global passive where everybody now will deal, every time you deal damage to an enemy, they will receive 30% less healing. So you have to be out of line of sight or not being shot at to get full healing these days. If you're a tank though, that is reduced in half to 15% less healing. So that is something they did not write here. That is something you should know. Anyways, for tanks now, there's the bruiser role, which reduces headshot damage received. And while you're at critical health means less than a quarter HP or 25%, you gain movement speed. So that's Mauga, Orisa, Roadhog, Zarya. You have the initiator role, where staying airborne lightly heals you. This means if you're a diver and you have a lot of aerial movement abilities where you stay in the air, you'll get some healing over time. So Diva while she boosts, Doomfist while he punches and slams, Winston while he leaps, and Wrecking Ball while he swings around. The Stalwart sub-role tank, which is reducing knockbacks and slows received. So people who get really annoyed at getting booped all the time. So Domina, Hazard, Junker Queen, Ramattra, Ryan, and Sigma. They'll be a bit sturdier on the ground. Next, for the damage role, we have the Sharpshooter role. The critical hits, so headshots, will reduce movement ability cooldowns. Now, this is scaled based on how strong the headshot is. Ashe, if you land headshots, I think it's like 75% of the damage done is the ratio of how much cooldown reduction. So it's almost like 1 second per scoped in headshot. For every one you hit, that'll reduce the coach gun cooldown by 1 second each time. Cassidy headshots will reduce the combat roll. Headshots for Hanzo reduce the leap, and headshots for Hanzo are very powerful. So I think it's like each headshot reduces it by like 1.5 seconds. So if you lunge, headshot, you're basically a lunge again right away. Sojourn, it seems really powerful on paper with a big rail onto the head, especially because of one of her perks gives her 2 power slides. Now you get to slide way more often, and then headshots for Widow will reduce the grapple. The flanker role makes health packs restore more health. These are heroes that have pretty low HP, so a mega health pack, the big ones will always heal you to full, but this is more impactful for the small health packs. We call them minis. Mini health packs heal 75 HP, and I think this doubles it to 150. So really good for Onron, Genji, Reaper, Tracer, Vendetta, and Venture. The specialist role. Eliminating an enemy briefly increases your reload speed, so it really values snowballing. If you get a kill, you go again. Bastion, Emre, Junkrat, Mei, Soldier, Symmetra, and Torbjorn. And finally, recon role. You detect enemies below half health through walls after damaging them. So that's Echo, Freya, Pharah, and Sombra. Finally, for the support role, we have 3 sub roles. First one is Tactician. You can gain excess ultimate charge, which carries over after using your ultimate ability. So if you're sitting on your ultimate and like you didn't find an opportunity to use it, you can overcharge it to like an extra bonus 25%. So if I'm sitting here as Anna and like I have my nano boost, but there's no one to nano and I keep playing the game, maybe after 30 seconds, I'll build another 25%. So that when I do use my nano, my next nano will get a head start, being at up to 25%. Good for BAP as well, Jetpack Cat, Lucio, and Zen. Medic is the other sub role for supports. Healing an ally with your weapon will also heal you yourself. So Kiriko, Lifeweaver, Mercy, and Moira. Finally, for Survivor sub role, using a movement ability will instantly activate passive health regen. So Brig, if she bashes, she'll start healing. Illari when she outburst. Juno for the glide boots. It doesn't work for speed ring. Mizuki, so every time he drops his little doll on the ground, he will get some movement speed. And Wuyang when he does the surfing move. The next thing is called the Conquest meta event. What is this? Season 1 includes Conquest, a 5-week meta event where players choose to fight for either Overwatch or Talon. Each week you will complete missions tied to the lore. So missions here you can see it's like play 3 games. You're as Agent Brigitte. Brigitte gives you extra progress. Overwatch Operation Deal. This is just a funny way to make the challenges look more thematic, is what I understand. Rewards go to the faction with the most successful missions. You can switch your allegiance once you complete your current week's faction. pass, making every choice matter as you seek to claim the following rewards. So these are the cumulative awards, I guess, throughout the season. It's like up to 75 loot boxes, 12 epic loot boxes, 7 legendary loot boxes, 9 new voice lines, 31 2D cosmetics, 2 weapon charms, 1 of 2 faction-themed legendary echo skins, so I think whatever faction wins, you'll get that one. Exclusive new rare epic and legendary titles, and a secret hidden one. Competitive year update. So these are the new weapon skins you can get when you play competitive. It is called Crimson Wolf Competitive Weapon to honor Talon's new leader. We're also giving those who reach Diamond or higher a new Doomfist competitive skin, but that's the Crimson skins. We just had Galactic, so that means all the old Galactic ones are now purchased with old legacy points. Competitive titles will now have rarity applied, and top 500 players can earn dynamic titles for their finishes. Titles from Season 20 and Season 1 will be granted when the title update goes live in Season 2. Also, a note here, in the 2026 Spotlight video, we said these will be live at Season 1 launch, but we want to give our team a bit more time to polish this feature. They're talking about the competitive titles. It'll go live 1 season later, basically not complete. They needed to polish it a little bit more. This is pretty much like extra stuff. I don't personally care that much, but just something to note. This is something they couldn't finish in their timeline here that they set out to do, but I think it's all good. The UI UX refresh. Now, at a first glance, I'm like, looks very mobile game with all the stuff littered at the top, but hey, after 10 years, the menus felt a bit dated, and our hope is that this helps restore some personality and hero-centric vibes while in game. You know what's funny? I played Valorant recently, and not recently, like a couple months ago, and I'm like, why does this UI look like Overwatch's now? Where they did everything on the left side, play, blah, 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 heroes. But then old Valorant kind of looked like this. So really, who, like, UI UX is supposed to have like a lot of like deliberate choices in mind, but it's just kind of funny how both games have flipped back and forth here. This update includes lobby, play cards, navigation, hero gallery, and a social panel, notification hub, etc, etc. We hope you all love the new look and ease of navigation. The biggest challenge is getting used to the play button at the top of the screen. Be sure to share your thoughts and feedback as we're planning even more updates and improvements. So give that a good feedback once you try it. I mean, at first glance, like I said, you can't over assume. I'm sure it's why they changed it is because it's less clicks to get to the game, and it is supposed to be easier as in practicality, but maybe I'm just saying at first glance, and I think everybody can agree, it looks very mobile game-esque, which may not match everyone's aesthetics. At the end of the day, for me personally, I don't actually care. I just want the game to be good. UI, UX, and the menu is such a whatever thing to me at the end of the day, but give good constructive feedback if you really hate it and it's really not practical, or just say you like it. Systems update. Alongside gameplay and navigation, new features have always been some of the most impactful updates we've made to Overwatch. This year, we want to dial a sense of joy and positivity that is at the center of the Overwatch universe. When Season 1 launches, we're unveiling a praise feature. So part of the voice lines, allowing players to use hero voiceover lines to provide positive feedback. Or if you're a bottom, you know, you just want like Drunker Queen to call you like good boy, good girl, and stuff like that. Some people are really into that. Not me. Trust. I mean, you do you, okay? The team has actually been recording these lines for all of our heroes over 10 years, but we never found a way to utilize them that has felt quite right to us. And we're finally really excited about what this subtle addition can mean for gameplay interactions. Or our peers. 18 plus chill no kill seems to be a very popular custom game mode. Another new feature is additional sound music control settings while in lobby. Now, when you're playing Overwatch on your second monitor, you'll be able to listen in on work meetings without having to turn your Overwatch audio down. Not that anyone on our team has ever done that. These guys are allowed to play Overwatch on the side while they're in a meeting. Not you though. Later this year, we are reviving an often requested feature, post-match accolades. Unlike the former cards, this new system will use full 3D models like this. New types of recognition will highlight key moments, including multi-endorsement and heroic endorsements. And in Season 2, we are coming to Nintendo Switch 2 for the 500 people. Over the rest of the year, expect upgrades to map voting, hero bands, drives, and more. Okay, for map voting, please give me a random button to choose the maps. Hero bands, honestly, we can even go with a third band. That's what I would say. Drives, it's whatever. It's end of season retention stuff and more. Finally, for Stadium, Reign of Talent transcends all of Overwatch, including Stadium. So of course we have to introduce Vendetta herself to the lineup. So Vendetta's in Stadium, number 1. Number 2, changing the pace of competitive Stadium. So power rounds will now change to 1, 2, 4, and 6 instead of the 1, 3, 5, 7. Best of 7 while still letting builds evolve across a full match. We'll be bringing the UI refresh to the armory. Seeing, oh, look at all these icons. They definitely changed. They're redone to match the fantasy of each item. For example, the aerial distressor will now actually look like a flying drone, while Amari's antidote is clearly an injector. This should make it easier to look for at a glance, once you get used to it, of course. Possibly the biggest change we've introduced to Stadium since launching last year is the new Hero Builder. The team is designing the Hero Builder as a way to give you greater agency and ease in crafting the best possible builds to match your playstyle. So what it's going to do now is it'll recommend builds based on player data worldwide, letting you see what other players are using. So basically, it's kind of like making the choice for you. It'll just be like, well, these are the most popular items, or these ones have the biggest win rate, and this is like what the meta build is, without you having to go to an external website to find the right build. It'll be presented in two forms. The first one is on round 1. You will now see 3 options for popular builds on your chosen hero. These starter packs combine a power with 3 items in a single click, making things more streamlined. And then the second, on rounds 2 to 7, you'll see an option to continue onto your current build and also see recommendations to help you counter the enemy team. And finally, we have collab skins. We have Hello Kitty and Friends from February 10th to 23rd, so when the season launches. We have Kiriko as Cinema Roll, Mercy as Pom Pom Purin. We have Diva as My Melody, Widowmaker as Kuromi, and we have Lucio as Keropi. Skins have been a hot topic for Overwatch, and our artists have been heating things up this year. Tied to the Reign of Talent, Season 1 will also have faction-themed skins, in addition to new bundles themed after vibes like Rainy Days and the sweetness of Valentine's Day. They've also refreshed the loot box pool with all the shop skins from the last 6 seasons. And then we have mythic skins. Every year, they'll now bring 2 new mythic hero skins, or every season, excuse me, this year will bring 2 new mythic hero skins. So season 1 will be Mercy's Celestial Guardian mythic skin, which does look amazing, and Juno's Star Shooter. So they say 2 mythics, one will be a hero and one will be a weapon, right? No, 2 new mythic hero skins. So mythic hero skin for Mercy, mythic weapon for Juno, and then a May mythic skin. Future seasons for mythics will be Soldier, Illari, Mauga, as well as mythic weapon skins for Genji, Hanzo, and Sojourn. Some people may be like, wow, Mercy again? There's some heroes that haven't gotten a mythic yet. Honestly, the more I think about it, like, how are we gonna do a mythic for like Moira, which isn't, or like a mythic weapon for Moira? You can totally do a mythic skin because I think she has one, but like, I feel like they're definitely leaning into what sells, and Mercy is going to sell. So I think with this season 10, they just had to go with what sells the most first. Hopefully the next ongoing seasons, they'll pivot to the ones that don't have any love yet. This is one of those like, oh, okay, another Mercy skin. Everybody likes to buy these, right? Being realistic. So I understand from a business perspective why they did. The skin looks great in a vacuum, but like an overarching decision is like, man, some heroes really do get shafted. I'm a Baptiste player. Like, I'm still waiting for something really pretty to come out for him. Anyways, for esports, Esports has another amazing year with several things coming. OWCS will begin with the bootcamp in Seoul before the full season launches with opening weekend on March 21st, before ultimately concluding a World Finals in China. Overwatch World Cup will come back at BlizzCon in September. We have the new esports loot box, so if you tune into OWCS, like the bootcamp from February 13 to 15, you'll get a OWCS exclusive loot box. And then this is the roadmap that they've shown here. So we can zoom in on that right here. So this is just basically tying in what's happening this season, which is basically what this whole article was. But season 2, 3, and 4, you can see there's the Jinx looking hero with the drone coming into season 2, redacted. I say Jinx because it's got that long hair. Jinx, I'm talking about Jinx from like League of Legends Arcane. Third one looks like a pistol and like a woman, horns. And then season 4, that is a mecha. 100%. So that's going to be probably released at BlizzCon. And if it's BlizzCon, you'll probably be able to play the hero at BlizzCon as a hero trial. That's what they did for Mauga like 3 years ago. Anyways, that looks like that's all. So Reign of Talent begins next February 10th, next Tuesday. And that's it for me. I yapped long enough. Thanks for listening. And hope you guys are excited. Let me know, give me feedback and what you're excited for season 1 or what you hate about the game. Doesn't matter. I'll take a look at it all. And if you have any Mythbusters for any of the 5 heroes coming up, also leave that either here or go to the hero page, the video I covered where I covered, you know, Mizuki and stuff, and be like, what happens if this does with this ability? Because we have so much content to make. I'm gonna need some help. Gotta outsource some ideas for you guys. All right, take care, guys. Appreciate you.